Hi, this is Dr. Arnold, and I wanted to go over DRAs with you and just kind of touch base of what they are and how we use them and what you'll be doing with them. All right, so a DRA is a developmental reading assessment. That's what the DRA stands for. DRA is an individually administered assessment of student reading proficiency, and the DRA just allows us as teachers to determine levels that kids are reading at. And it's a great way to see how they're doing over time. They are standardized assessments so that they are, put against other people so that we can see how students do against their peers at certain ages. And it has several ways of doing that by looking at reading engagement, their oral reading, and their comprehension. And the comprehension piece is super duper important because if not, they're just word calling, and we definitely don't want somebody who's just word calling. That would not be good because that would mean they're not understanding, and that is the whole point of reading. So if they're not understanding, we would definitely need to know that, and we would need to make sure that we were going down lower with their reading to make sure that they were understanding. Here on this page shows you different things about DRAs. And so the DRA you see is a developmental reading assessment, and you see that on that third column and how they're rated. But then you also see guided reading, accelerated reader, Lexile. Many of these things are kind of used interchangeably when we're talking about a DRA. Fountas and Pinnell is the guided reading there that's on the left-hand column where we're seeing, the A's and the C's and all these different levels. And so, or they can also be these levels right here, this DRAs. And so it kind of just depends on what your school district has. You might have a reading specialist who calls something like this a DRA. Accelerated readers are used in a lot of schools too because they are computerized assessments that students can take in order to earn points, and sometimes they have to earn so many points at a grade level to be at a certain grade level in their classes and that kind of thing. So this is just kind of a great chart to look at if you've ever got questions about levels and how they work with DRAs. So if you have a first grader and you are in like the Fountas and Pinnell rating system, they would start the year at a 4 and then they're supposed to end the year at a 16. That's a huge jump. And so that's a lot of reading improvement that they need to do through the year, and they have to, just grow by leaps and bounds to do that. And most first graders can do that. They really take off with reading that in first grade. That's usually that kind of magic year where all that happens. And then, there's DRAs and DRA2s. In a DRA, the students who are reading above grade level should read no more than 1 grade level above their present grade. That kind of depends on your school district. Sometimes school districts will let you go more than 1 grade level higher. Sometimes they won't, mainly because they don't want you to use all the assessments up. And so, if you're teaching 3rd grade, they don't want you to go past 4th grade because they want you to have assessments in 4th grade and 5th grade so that those teachers will be able to assess those kids as they go through elementary school. And the DRA2s, those, go 4th through 8th. And so, those can be, used with kids into middle school level as well. So this is kind of a neat little document that will kind of show you what Fountas and Pinnell, how they kind of lay it out for us so that you can see how to get a child on grade level by the end of the year. So, if they start at like an E, then they would be at a K, which would definitely be above where they're supposed to be. J would be when meeting expectation. Here's a C, and you can see all that great growth, but an I is definitely not high enough to say that they're on grade level. So this is just kind of a nice chart because the end product is we would like them to be reading on grade level, and definitely reading on grade level by the end of 3rd grade, because that's when we start seeing many standardized assessments, and we really start really pushing that kids be on grade level. And that is where a lot of federal mandates have been, is that kids need to be on grade level by the end of 3rd grade. But this kind of concludes what a DRA is. If you've got questions, let me know. But I hope this kind of gives you just a little bit of understanding as we get into DRAs this week.